Greetings and welcome to the Cell Guru Show with me, Rajiv Makhni, and today we're going to show you the birth of a product. Yes, the birth of a TWS. This is the most trending hot tech category. We'll go to the Realme factory and I'll take you through how a TWS is actually made. This is a fascinating story. Then we'll review the Moto G82 5G new phone from Moto. Packs in quite a bit of the bells and whistles. 5G, 120Hz refresh rate, triple rear camera, under 22,000 rupees. And then we'll do a fascinating story. You've seen the actual way phones are actually sold. We'll meet with Nishant from Amazon, Arijit from Techno to discuss the shift in e-commerce, how people buy online versus offline, what do they look for, which are the phones that actually sell the most. That and a whole lot more on the Cell Guru Show. Alright, let's get started. Our top story is the making of true wireless earphones, earbuds that we are all buying now. Super trending, hot category. So we got invited and went to the factory where Realme TWS earbuds are made. We'll show you the entire process of what goes on inside the making of a TWS earbud. What is it that we are hearing? The testing process, the setting it up process. How do they put it together? We'll hand over right now to Rubina, who's there at the factory.
Hi, I'm Rubina Mongi and today I'm at the factory where Realme's TWS are manufactured and assembled. Now we have often shown you how a smartphone is made, but today we are going to show you how the TWS is born, the birth of a TWS. True wireless earbuds have been the most trending tech category last year, but have you ever wondered what goes inside it? What are the components inside it? What testing phases do they go through? Well, we are about to show you, so let's go inside. The journey begins here. First they install the dust filter, then they put a mesh here, and then they put it together, glue it together. Then they check if the mesh and the filter have been put together correctly. They paste it on the top. PCB, the filter, the bud, everything that has been installed up till now is finally being inspected here at the end of the line. Moving on now to the next line. This is where the soldering is again happening. More components are being added. The yellow thing that you see that is here is the battery case. It's basically the battery holder where the battery of the earbud will be added. Now this is where the top and the bottom of the earbud come together. They are glued together and left here for about 40 minutes and then again it goes for checking. Now this is where the final step of the earbud happens. That is, we are going to now put the stem on that sensor. They are already checking the stem, they are placing the sensor on top of it, and then it will be finally all coming together. Now these are the audio testing machines right here, and they are obviously going to check everything in the minutest of detail. So how do we judge an earbud? Well, with a lot of audio testing, does it sound good, does it have a good ANC, and everything is tested right here in this machine. So first they put the earbud in the final ready product, and then they get all these graphs stating that the audio testing is fine. There's of course another place for testing active noise cancellation if those earbuds have them. We are now at the SMT production line of Realme's TWS. Now here is where the motherboard that goes inside your TWS is printed. It's a really tiny motherboard, so a lot of complexities go inside it. We'll start from printing it, then we put on components, we check if those components are placed correctly, then there's a lot of heat applied, different sort of temperatures are applied so that those components are soldered inside that motherboard, and then finally after a final test, we get the tiny little motherboard that goes inside your earbud. Now we've already shown you how an earbud is made. Now it's time to show you how the TWS case is made, which is actually really important. And it all starts here with the magnets inside this case. It's a completely different story, but we'll quickly take you through it. The other big aspect of the manufacturing process is the case that houses the true wireless earbuds. There are of course two cavities molded into the case and fitted with magnets so that the earbuds stay in place. Inside the case, a flexible circuit is mounted alongside a battery, and the final element is yet another PCB with USB-C port that enables charging. Finally, a lid is placed onto the body of the case with magnets, post which they are put through a series of tests and given the go-ahead when they pass all trials. Now this is the best part of the factory visit because here we get to test the products in real life conditions. You have this IPX5 rating check, which is with water, you have a humidity check, you have rapid thermal shock check, you have even freezing temperatures check. So there's a lot that happens here in this room, and the best part, guess what, is that we get to show it to you. Ensuring that true wireless earphones can live up to their certification rating is a key step in the manufacturing process. Testing for sudden, unexpected impacts and shocks is just one of the many steps that are an integral part of the process of ensuring that the earphones don't give up on you. Realme's testing and manufacturing facility puts true wireless earphones through a series of environmental tests that simulate freezing temperatures down to -40 degrees and scorching heat all the way to 70 degrees Celsius. The thermal shock tests are done to check how Realme's TWS behave under sudden change in temperature. Additionally, a humidifier and water cannon are used to gauge water resistance and to check the IPX5 rating. Finally, a drop test is also done to ensure that the true wireless earphones keep going strong drop after drop. Moving on to the packaging line, this is where all the final checks of the finishing are done manually. The true wireless earphones are nicely wrapped and placed in the product box along with the charging cable and necessary documentation, ready to ship out to the buyer and to hopefully guarantee thousands of hours of enjoyment. And that's how the birth of a TWS takes place. I have the fully packed, functional Realme Buds Air 3 with me. It's ready to hit the market.
Our next story is the Moto G82 5G IP52 rating, 6.6-inch display, good battery, 5000 mAh, 120Hz refresh rate, triple rear camera with a stabilization built in. It's priced at about 21,499.
Motorola has expanded the G series with its latest launch, the Moto G82 5G. This is the most premium offering in the G series from the company. The phone boasts of premium hardware and offers a few segment-first features. With the launch of the G82, Motorola is trying to compete with the likes of Realme and Xiaomi. But how does it fare? We find out in our Cell Guru review. The G82 is said to be the lightest and slimmest smartphone in the market. It features a polycarbonate back yet does not feel cheap. The curved edges and the sleek design of the phone make it comfortable to hold with one hand. The location of the fingerprint scanner is perfect and works smoothly too. The Moto G82 5G also has an IP52 rating for resistance against light splashes of water. The device is prone to fingerprint smudges. The Moto G82 comes with a 6.6-inch POLED display with a full HD Plus resolution and a 120Hz refresh rate. The 10-bit display supports a billion colors and gives a vivid viewing experience. It has a punch hole for the front camera which turns invisible after a few days of use. Thanks to the great refresh rate, the experience of watching HD content was great, leaving us highly impressed. We were even able to navigate the phone under bright sunlight. The phone has dual stereo speakers that are loud and clear. The speakers deliver decent bass and we were plenty happy. Coming to the performance of the phone, the G82 is powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 695 chipset. The 6nm SoC handles everyday tasks with ease. Multi-tab browsing and switching between apps was seamless, and the device did not lag or crash even when multiple apps were running in the background. The software is clean and extremely close to stock Android 12. Material U was on proud display throughout the UI. As for gaming, playing Call of Duty was fun. The phone was able to play at a consistent frame rate with all settings maxed out. While playing the game inside in a relatively cool room, the phone did not heat up. We were pretty impressed with the battery of the phone as well. It was simply amazing. It comes with a 5000 mAh battery. With average use, the phone easily has a 2-day battery life. We got 6 hours of screen on time with 30% left. It comes with 33-watt fast charging in the box and takes about an hour to go from 0 to 100%. The Moto G82 5G has a triple camera setup at the back. It includes a 50MP main camera with optical image stabilization, an 8MP ultra-wide camera and a 2MP depth sensor. For selfies, there is a 16MP camera at the front. The shots from the 50MP main sensor had great dynamic range and colors. It has plenty of details and the sharpness was on point but suffers with indoor shots. The details were not up to the mark and the colors were washed out. The performance of the ultra-wide camera is on the same lines as the primary sensor and does disappoint with indoor shots. With the macro lens, while we were happy with the shots, there were no details and the colors were on the muted side. Where the camera does stand out is the selfie camera. The photos were bright and sharp with plenty of details and the skin color was spot on. Priced at Rs 21,499 for the 6GB plus 128GB variant, The phone offers a good design, powerful performance, great battery and an amazing display. With these features and more, the Moto G82 is high on our list of recommendations.
And now let's move on to a story I've always wanted to do. You know, how do you buy your phone? Do you buy it online? Do you buy it offline? And have you ever thought why you choose that way? E-commerce has transformed the way consumers shop in India with the rise of the internet, increasing smartphone penetration and digital literacy. This is now increasing in leaps and bounds. It's expected that the Indian e-commerce market is going to grow by a whopping 21.5% by the end of this year. And I think one of the biggest in that has been online shopping on e-commerce sites like Amazon. And you know, Amazon is really known for a lot of phone buying. But how do people actually buy phones? Nearly 53% of smartphone users bought their devices online in 2021. Approximately 15% of those users have purchased phones in the 30,000 and above range. So this is a big change. That's how we are all buying our phones. We met up with Nishant from Amazon and Arijit from Techno to discuss this further. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on the show. This is a fascinating conversation I've been wanting to have. Let's get started. Let's get an overview of the smartphone category on Amazon, Nishant. Have you witnessed any major changes post the pandemic in buying patterns, the way people are actually getting the kind of products they're buying? What's the big difference now?
Two big changes, Rajiv. What we have seen, the Indian smartphone market or the Indian mobile phone market, I think is unique in the terms that it has a very, very large feature phone base, perhaps an installed feature phone base of about 300 odd million. And during the pandemic, we saw a big shift in terms of people upgrading from feature phones to smartphones. Customers who were into the entry-level smartphones over the last 3 to 4 years, I suspect India would have sold about 100 million entry-level smartphones in the period between 2017 to 2020. And those customers now suddenly had a lot more to do. They could watch content, they could do video calls, and therefore we saw that the segment which is slightly more premium, priced above 15 or 20,000 rupees, that exploded in growth as well, growing at about 50% year on year. So to summarize, Rajiv, I think the two big trends that we saw is that the market grew at the extremes. The entry-level segment and the mid to premium segment were the two segments that really, grew at a rate which was very, very high.
Arijit, can you give me some more insight into your brand's product portfolio, the product mix, which works for online, which is for offline? You're a brand that plays in both. Do you mix it up? Is there a different strategy for both markets?
Thanks, Rajiv, for having me here. See, as the consumer is gravitating around the online space, we do not want to miss the opportunity to be a player in the e-commerce space. So we are actually not moving offline or online. We are following our consumer. Our approach is not about addressing one channel or other. We are actually addressing wherever the consumer is going. So last year, during the pandemic, offline moved as high as 48 to 50%. This year, it's around 45% online and 55 offline. But since the consumer is changing and we want to catch 45% of our consumers online, Amazon is a strong player. It's a global player. It's there across the world. Techno is there in more than 70 countries. And there is a mutual trust and admiration. So I think this journey with Amazon and Techno will really help us and will help the consumers for a better experience. And we are committed to the local market.
Arijit, can you give me some more insight into your brand's product portfolio, the product mix, which works for online, which is for offline? You're a brand that plays in both. Do you mix it up? Is there a different strategy for both markets?
Consumers prefer Techno as they get the segment first and premium specs and premium technology within their budget. Each product is designed based on the local needs and preferences of the consumers in the environment. See, at Techno, technology innovation for better localization is the core DNA. So we have 5 product lines, Rajiv. Pop, which focuses at the entry level. Spark, all-round smartphone. OVA is high on performance and it's also very strong for gamers. Camon is a camera-centric phone. And Phantom, it is more of high on aspiration plus innovation. Recently, we launched Phantom X, which has 70% curved AMOLED screen. It is the segment first in the price point that we are giving. For us, primarily, we prefer to have most of the models same for online and offline. Couple of models, since we have an amazing tie-up with Amazon now, we did bring only for online, and couple of models going forward, we will continue to bring exclusive online. This year, we plan to have around 20 to 25 smartphones across price range. And as Nishant said, 5G is actually booming. So we will have 3 to 4 smartphone 5G as of now.
Nishant, let's talk a little bit about the insight on behavior. So you spoke about the extreme shift, how the consumer demand has changed. Now you guys do great analytics, right? Give us some insight on the behavior leading to the shift in consumer requirement and demand.
Yeah, I think, Rajiv, the big behavioral shift that we see now is that the average number of minutes that customers are using for smartphones today versus what they were using let's say a few years ago, I think there is a tectonic shift over there. And smartphones, I think, are becoming more and more a part of your everyday life, right? Whether it is, there are new use cases which have emerged. Video calling is a new use case. OTT is a new use case. Gaming in India is so small; it's is not even penetrated well. That's going to be a major use case. So the number of things on which people are using smartphones, I think that's the big behavioral shift. And smartphones, therefore, are becoming an integral part of people's lives, and therefore people want or customers want not only a smartphone. The feature phone customer wants a smartphone now, but the existing smartphone customers want a better smartphone. They want a smartphone with richer features, right? So that all these use cases, these emerging use cases, are taken care of. So honestly, I think smartphones are no longer just a device to talk to. They've become these mini computers, and that's what's, I think, the biggest change in terms of user engagement that we have seen.
So now that we've heard that you're getting your strategy bang on, what else can we expect from Techno to really, really excite consumers and take that triple digit to maybe even 4 digits? That would be a miracle. But the Indian consumer, Amazon, Techno, maybe all put together, you guys can make it happen. So what is it? What can be the big one, the total needle mover?
So first of all, it gives Techno a lot of confidence when Nishant from Amazon talks big about the brand. And actually, Nishant is right. It's a 3-digit growth that we are having, and we only want to increase it. See, now, as Nishant said, that the gaming smartphones, the current market size is very small. So with POVA smartphones, we are getting into gaming as a mainstream smartphone. With Phantom and with other models, we will keep on surprising the consumers with very high technology.
All right. Thank you so much, Nishant and Arijit. It's been fascinating talking to both of you, and I would like to do this again and again. Thank you for joining me on the show. That then was the Cell Guru show for this week. As always, lots of very interesting things on the show. Do join me next week.